Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving into a true rite of passage for anyone learning ethical hacking, the classic Kioptrix labs. We're going to take this challenge and turn it from just another puzzle into a really powerful, structured learning experience. And we'll start with the one question every single beginner asks. So, have you ever just stared at a command line feeling completely and totally overwhelmed? Trust me, you are so not alone. It's a super common feeling in this field. I mean, the sheer number of tools and techniques, it can be paralyzing. But what if I told you there's a much better way to start than just randomly mashing keys and trying things? I want you to think of Kioptrix not as some scary final exam, but more like your call to adventure. Seriously, it's a legendary training ground, and it's designed specifically to teach you the fundamentals. This isn't about passing or failing. It's about starting the journey and, more importantly, learning how to actually navigate the path. Okay, so every great quest needs the right gear, right? Before you even think about firing up your virtual machine, you need a map and a compass. But here's the thing, we're not talking about software tools just yet. We're talking about the mental tools, the frameworks that are going to guide your thinking. We're going to build our entire strategy around 3 industry-standard frameworks. These are your secret weapons. They're what's going to give you structure, context, and a clear plan of attack, and, way more importantly, a plan for learning. First up is the OWASP Web Security Testing Guide, or WSTG. The best way to think of this is like your practical, hands-on field manual. When you find a web server on Kioptrix, this guide tells you exactly how to test for things like SQL injection or cross-site scripting. It is the definitive how-to for finding web vulnerabilities. Okay, next we have MITRE ATT, and this one completely changes our perspective. If OWASP is your how-to manual, then MITRE is the attacker's playbook. It's this huge knowledge base of all the real-world tactics and techniques that adversaries actually use. It helps you think like a hacker and start to anticipate their moves, all the way from getting initial access to escalating their privileges. And finally, rounding out our toolkit, we have the NIST Cybersecurity Framework. This is the 30,000-foot view. It's the strategic blueprint that big organizations use to manage their cybersecurity risk. For our little quest, it helps us understand the why. Why was that vulnerability so critical? Well, because it falls under the protect function and could lead to a massive breach. It gives our actions some serious context. So how does this all fit together? Well, as you can see here, they basically work in layers. OWASP gives you the how, the specific tests you need to run. MITRE gives you the methods, the actual tactics an attacker would use. And NIST provides the context, why your findings really matter from a strategic point of view. See, they aren't competing with each other, they're designed to be complementary. Now, with your toolkit already, you might be thinking, okay, I'm set. But wait, capturing the flag is only half the battle. The real treasure, the real learning, is unlocked after the challenge is over, during the debrief. This is where experience truly becomes expertise. You gotta remember this. If you can't explain how you succeeded, then it was just luck, not skill. The whole goal here is to make your success repeatable, to turn it into a skill you actually own. And that's why documenting and analyzing your process isn't just a nice to have, it's absolutely essential. And here's how you do it. It's a simple 4-step process. First, identify the exact commands and exploits that worked. Second, map them back to OWASP. What specific weakness did you take advantage of? Third, classify your tactics using MITRE. Was it initial access? Privilege escalation? What was it? And finally, contextualize it with NIST. Why did the defenses fail in the first place? This simple process turns what feels like a chaotic hack into a beautifully structured lesson. You see, by following that little 4-step debrief, you're not just done with one lab. You're actually building a powerful, sustainable cycle for continuous improvement that you can apply to literally any challenge you face from here on out. And this is what that cycle looks like in practice. You prepare by studying the frameworks. Then you act by getting your hands dirty and tackling the challenge. And then, and this is the most important part, you reflect by documenting your findings using that debrief process we just talked about. Every single time you go through this cycle, you become a more skilled, more methodical, and just a more effective ethical hacker. And this really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? On one side, you've got aimless hacking. It's just a frustrating path of random tools, forgotten lessons, and really slow progress. But on the other side, you've got structured learning. It's strategic, it's framework-driven, and it leads to knowledge you actually retain, and confident, rapid growth. I mean, the choice is pretty clear. So what's the big takeaway here? It's this.
You now have a system. You have a repeatable method to approach any problem, whether it's Kioptrix or some future certification, and squeeze the maximum amount of knowledge out of it. You're not just guessing anymore. You're learning with purpose.
You've got the map, you've got the compass, and you have the blueprint. The quest is yours to command. So really, the only question left is, what challenge are you going to conquer and document next? Go on, go build your expertise.